Hey everybody, Radioactive here, and I'm sure you're wondering why I have all of these darts on my desk. Well, it's not for a dramatic reason to, I'm gonna swipe all these things off and throw something down. No. I have to load all these into today's cylinder. The 32-shot inline clip Hammershot cylinder. So this cylinder, it's probably one of my most well-known cylinders. Everybody's saying it. Everybody knows what it's about. It is 8 barrels of inline clip cylinder, inline clip barrels. Performance is, I don't even know how many darts to put in there. Performance is actually really, really nice with these modifications. We have the Dead Space Filler mod. Now, I would consider that almost a requirement, honestly, to get really good performance out of your 32-shot inline clip, because the air restrictor has to be removed anyway, so you might as well. You're going to want higher performance because there's a lot of dead space in these barrels. You don't want to increase the spring load because, well, that's 32 shots at 8 or even 10, or if you're really crazy, 12 kilograms that you do not want to fire. I'm telling you now, you don't want to fire. The required modifications do include the air restrictor removal, and you can see that there's a little bit of a different look here. The bottom arm has been removed. Now this is the length that I typically like to go with for the bottom arm delete. Here is what it looks like normally, this bottom arm right here. I cut it off here, but I've seen some really, really pretty mods where just they've kind of extended this bottom section here and cut this off. Now, it is a requirement that you cut that off because it's a much longer length than stock. It's more than double, actually. Performance. I've already said performance. This is a really good secondary that you've got. You never have to reload it. If you have to reload this, you have bigger problems. It does have some of the same problems that inline clips do typically have. If the blaster's too strong, which surprisingly the Hammershot can get too strong for inline clips. If you put an 8 kilogram with a spacer in the intermediate upgrade kit, I can't promise it'll work 100%. Rotation, it is a very heavy cylinder, so it's a lot easier to break this rotator. You can't really get around it. This arm is really long and thin. If you hit it just one too many times, it could break. You might not need to, but you might need to. Actually kind of file down these bits on both sides of the blaster, including right here. This is the biggest problem. I'm actually going to hit it with a file right now. It is a huge cylinder, and this is kind of the smallest I could get its diameter. Depending on your tolerances of your blaster, you could have problems with the rotation, with the cylinder actually hitting the plastic. It's possible. It's just down to tolerances. And I personally don't usually have to do this. This is just a preference. This is just, okay, I don't want to have to open this blaster again. Personally, I don't want to have to keep opening this multiple times for a video. It's so terrible. My hand hurts. We're only halfway through, if that. So yeah, I did kind of do that. If you paint it, you have to be really, really careful about getting really thick coats on the inside of your blaster, or else it could gum up the rotation. So, You do have to just be careful. You just have to be careful, honestly. Let's get this cylinder in here. It is all loaded up. So that's good. Let's get it put together. If there are rotation issues, you will know very quickly, and it will be the biggest pain you've ever experienced from a blaster. But you shouldn't have problems. You really shouldn't. If you do, you need to check your rotator for artifacts. You need to lube it up. You need to make sure that there's no artifacts on the cylinder itself or the blaster itself that would get in the way of rotation. I really do kind of like the extended look of this cylinder. It looks really nice to me. So we are going to try and test performance. I can't tell you if I'm going to be able to or not because, well, I don't know if I can aim this correctly. That looks like it's doing well. All right. Let's get our not so trusty chronographs around. Turn them on. I'm going to test the first 8 and then show you the results. The second 8, show you the results. The third 8, show you the results. And the fourth set of 8 and show you the results because the performance does change on average between them. $76.6, $68.9, $71.2, $69.7, $64.4, $60.2, $65.3, and $71.4. Alright, so that's our first set of 8. So the reason why this works so well, this is actually 32. It's actually a really interesting type of inline clip. It's an inline clip where it's actually a front load inline clip. And so the dart actually seats in the barrel itself instead of just all the darts always being in the clip. So if you do a rear load mod, which I guess it's possible, you could potentially do a rear load mod for this this cylinder. You wouldn't be able to fit all of 32 in. You would only be able to fit 24. So you just need to be careful about that. You need to understand the pros and cons of the modifications that you are doing. That being said, let's get into the shots. So 67.6, 68.9, 71.2, 69.7, 64.4, 60.2, that's our lowest one, 65.3, and 71.4. So you can probably expect elite performance with this set of modifications. Let's get our second set of 8. So you do have to be careful about this. If these darts do not automatically seat, which sometimes they don't, depends on ammo type, you can do this, but this is now unprimed and all darts are seated. You could experience a kind of problem where if you prime it, it could, I did have my hand on the thing so it wasn't going to fire in my face. It could be that the dart actually becomes unseated through vacuum. So you want to prime it first and then hit it, and then you're good. So let's get our second set. 65.9, 77.6, 81.8, 77.3, 72.4, 68.3, 67.3, and 82.6. So, high. Oh, that was weird. So you can expect. Let's see. 75.9, 77.6, 81.8, 77.3, 72.4, 68.3, 67.3, 82.6. So you can expect probably high 70s, low 80s with this kind of set on the second set of 8. Now performance, this is actually higher performance than I have tested before, especially on stock spring. So I don't actually know where this is going to go now, because I remember testing with an 8 kilogram and the Dead Space filler cap on it. It was getting mid 50s to mid 80s. So if this continues, we could be seeing 90s out of the second or last set, or the second to last and then last set. All right, so let's test. 70.3, 73.9, 81, 80.3, 70, 65.7, 70.7, and that didn't fire. I didn't set it correctly. So there we go. 77.3. So this is actually lower. So the dead space does increase. So we may be seeing the dead space increase actually now reducing performance with this level of modification that we have currently. Let's go down here. So 70.3, 73.9, 81, 80.3, 70, 65.7, 70.7, and 77.3. So again, high elite performance on the second to last set of 8. And now, let's see what these last sets will do. 72, 75.3, 76.3, 77.2. That was not seated correctly. 66.3, and then it was 2 seated because it actually fired itself into the seat. That one didn't seat correctly either. It's kind of difficult to seat because normally you'd want to hit down, but I have a desk here. 59.1, I feel like that hit the side. 69.2, make sure it's seated, and 76.1. So that's all 32 of our shots. You can see I had a couple of failures to feed. That's just because of the circumstances of I can't hit down like I'd normally want to. That's the easiest way to do it. Let's go to our shot memory and check out the final set of 8. So 72, 75.3, 76.3, 77.2, 66.3, 59.1, 69.2, and 76.1. So again, approximately elite to a little bit higher than elite performance. So previously when I had tested, I saw that the first set of 8, it would get middle 50s. The second set would get low to middle 60s. Or this one would get mid to high 50s. This one would get low to mid 60s. This one would get about 70 to 75. And the final one would get about 75 to 80. So now what we're seeing is the first set is a little bit lower than 70. The second set is high 70s. And then the rest are low to mid 70s. Performance actually does vary on this. So if you have a whole bunch in the cylinder, if you have it so that all of the ammo is at the very end, then you may see a slightly different performance than if you have one seated and then the rest are put in the bottom of the cylinder or the middle of the cylinder. That's just the way that inline clips are. To reload, you have to muzzle load them. Any amount of muzzle load will work I mean, I could put one in here, just like that, load it, prime, and it would fire. Let's do a test on the FPS. Mid-70s, 72.8, mid to low 70s. The same exact kind of performance that you would expect if you had them fully loaded. So you do want to be careful to load each one if you do have to reload. God help you. If you do have to reload during this, in the middle of a game, you do want to be careful to make sure that each one is loaded equally, so that you never have one where it's 3, 3, 3, 1, and then you do shots all the way around, and you dry fire on one of the cylinders. Now, I have not had problems with dry firing at any level, but that doesn't mean that you will not have problems. The way that you modified it, you could have a weakness somewhere. The tolerances of the blaster itself could have a weakness somewhere. It's just the way it is. So yeah, this has been the 32-shot inline clip cylinder for the Hammershot. Really love the look of it. The links to everything will be in the description. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe. Continue to see what I do. I have plenty more videos for this month coming out. Been radioactive, and I hope you have a great day.